Hey guys, this is Lisa from NYC Gal Out. Welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like, follow, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. I remember when I was in high school, there wasn't any school on those days. I remember I used to love watching Jerry Springer because like everybody that came onto those shows were like trailer park trash, right? The Maury show was always about like the DNA tests are in and you are not the father or something like that. I never really got into Wendy Williams because when Wendy Williams was coming up, I was already not interested in daytime talk show. I did watch a few of her episodes, so I know what her like whole shtick is and stuff like that. And she has that, how you doing? Everybody attributes that to Wendy Williams, but that's actually from Joey from Friends. Joey from Friends was the one that was like, how you doing? And she got sick. She had a lot of guest hosts that filled in for her. Okay, so now what is going on with Wendy Williams? First of all, Wendy Williams is from New Jersey. She grew up in a predominantly white suburban neighborhood. She did not have an interest in hip hop, R&B, rap, any of that stuff. Like she grew up listening to stuff like AC/DC because that was like what all her friends listened to. And she also said stuff like, you know, she grew up basically talking like white folks do. I mean, I don't know what's considered talking white or talking black, but like if you talk black, you're talking a certain way. And she said that, you know, because of where she grew up, she never talked black. I mean, take that however you want to take it. Those are her words, not mine. So she was kind of like a shock jock, not really in the same sense of like Howard Stern. She did get into like a lot of celebrity beefs for being very opinionated. She was on Hot 97. She was like promoting a lot of her own stuff. I know she got in trouble with a lot of like radio stations because of her very opinionated comments on air and stuff. Artists where she put her 2 cents out there and, you know, it didn't really jive with the audience, with the radio station or with the advertisers. She went on to have her own talk show. Again, very opinionated. She would like just talk about headline news. Her health, there was questions about her health starting in the 2020s, right? She missed a couple of episodes and then her show was ultimately canceled because of a health crisis or something. Nobody really knew what it was. She said that she had Graves' disease, and then she said that there was a problem with her thyroid, and she wears wigs and weaves because of her thyroid issue, that it thins out her hair. And then, you know, other stuff with the thyroid, it could cause fatigue, it could cause a whole bunch of things. I think it was in 2022, Wells Fargo, which was her bank, actually froze her account where she wasn't able to withdraw any money. But not only was she not able to withdraw money, she was also not even able to like view her bank statements or anything. And then one of the employees of Wells Fargo went to the court to basically have her put in a financial conservatorship. And it was based on Wells Fargo stating that, you know, they felt that she, you know, was mentally incapacitated or something and that she was being exploited, and then her assets was frozen. I think that's so shady because like a bank employee should not be able to have that sort of say. She's spoken out about it too, and this is all happening in New York City. Conservatorship, it really did not come to the forefront until Britney Spears and the whole Free Britney movement made it headline news. Now, before Britney Spears, though, there was actually this woman named April Parks in Nevada. Guys, Google her, look her up. And April Parks, she had like this conservatorship agency that she just kind of like set up out of nowhere. And it was so easy for her to just get these letters from like doctors or from MPs or PAs that were basically saying that this person has dementia or this person is, you know, whatever. And she would do this to the elderly. She would basically look up elderly people in the phone book. And there was this very problematic magistrate. He wasn't even a judge. He was like somebody that was like basically just appointed to oversee it. And then the judge that was overseeing this magistrate, that judge got in trouble, but not really, because they just kind of moved him around to like another location. That magistrate that was basically signing his signature to everything, you know, he really didn't seem to get disciplined either. I think they moved him into like, you know, into family court where he's overseeing like children, right? Like I think Vanity Fair did like a whole entire article about it. It's a great read. And then Netflix made a movie based kind of on those events. It's called I Really Care About You or something like that. It's a Netflix original movie. That movie is based on real life events of like what April Parks was doing. She was doing it out in Nevada. They eventually caught her. She was like making a run for it. They caught her in Pennsylvania. She was sentenced to like 14 to 30 years. But it felt like if you read that article from Vanity Fair, it didn't even feel like that was justice. It really shows the flaw in the court system, in the laws. You know what they say, nobody ever really thinks of their own morality. Nobody ever really thinks about like, oh, this could happen to me, and then it happens, right? Wendy Williams actually has had in place that her son, Kevin, has power of attorney, but the judge did not give power of attorney to Kevin, even though she has a power of attorney listing Kevin as her guardian. And then her sister also was not given guardianship. This is only a financial guardianship, and it was a financial guardianship that was petitioned by an employee of Wells Fargo. Wendy Williams has actually came out on like her Instagram and stated that this employee of Wells Fargo actually withdrew $100,000 from her account to pay for a legal team to basically put her in a guardianship. How is that legal? It's so mind-boggling. And that kind of reminds me of like, you know, the whole thing with Britney Spears, where she says that like my money is paying for lawyers to fight me for my freedom. And that's basically what it is. But she still does have a financial guardianship overseeing her assets. Imagine a bank employee that has your money. And see, that really does like leave you vulnerable, right? Because these bank employees, they're the ones that are like opening up deposits for you, giving you your checkbooks, doing all this stuff. So they know how much money a client would have. Put safety guards in place. Nobody ever wants to think about their own morality, but if you ever make it big like that, and look, the truth of it is that most Americans are never going to make it big like that where anybody is going to try to fleece you. But if you should ever win the lottery, you should ever become like a multi-billionaire, or even if you should ever have like a nice home that is fully paid for, you need to watch out for predators and vultures. Don't think that the world is a good place with good people. No, the world is full of predators. You're either predator or prey, right? We really are really like a very thin line removed from animals in the wild, like legit. Like there's a very thin line that is separating us from wild animals. And that thin line is basically that, you know, we do have like critical thinking skills, hopefully. And even though Wendy Williams herself had set into motions things that were supposed to protect her, she still got screwed. And it wasn't even like somebody that was close to her that got screwed. It was like basically some bank employee that was just like, hey, whatever. And here was the thing. That's how you bring awareness to it. That's how Britney Spears finally got her freedom. She wasn't able to get her freedom for 13 years until she actually started talking about it, until she made the decision, you know what, fuck the embarrassment, fuck what people are going to say, I'm going to finally speak. She finally spoke in court. Everybody heard what the hell has been going on for the last 13 years. And that was really like that actually brought about a movement to like basically free her. This is what Wendy Williams needs to do. And she has been trying to do that. I think she's really I think a lot of people are going to be shocked by this documentary. I'm glad that it is coming out. And that's why I say that the silver lining, even though it really isn't a silver lining, but the silver lining is that the conservatorship is only a financial conservatorship. She still has some freedom. I mean, we should all be free. It's not like she committed any sort of crime where like her basic freedom and rights should be taken away from her. But when you're in a conservatorship that isn't needed, it doesn't seem as restricted as what Britney Spears was under. So with that, like the silver lining is that, look, she's having this documentary coming out. She's able to speak publicly about it. There's nothing that's censoring her from it. And hopefully this documentary, more people are going to talk about how abusive the conservatorship system is. There is no oversight. There really is nothing that like people are able to get away with it for so long because there is no oversight. And I feel like hopefully it not only brings attention to it, but that she's able to access her money. That is her money.
She was put in front of a judge and given a guardian. That was when they took her away from us.
I have no money, and I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you.
A lot of people feel like, well, I've been doing banking business with this company for so many years, and it's crazy that banks can do that. So that's why you should not put all of your eggs in one basket. I think that is one of the problems, right? Because she had all her money in Wells Fargo, and I think a greedy employee was just like, ooh, look at all this money. Stuff like this has been going on for a while, but nobody really paid attention about it until Britney Spears made it into headline news. So, guys, I hope you will watch the documentary. It's a 2-part documentary and it's airing on Lifetime. Let me know what you guys think of the documentary. I'll probably talk about it when it airs, when it comes out. There's also Hulu's coming out with their part 2 of The Housewife and the Hustler, which is Erica Girardi from Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. It's going to look at it from her perspective and hear what she has to say about the whole Tom Girardi scandal. That's coming out next week. So we're going to talk about that as well. There's a lot of stuff coming out. And then Erica Girardi for her Erica Jane concert that she's doing for her Las Vegas residency.